Hi, this is Kerry Artag with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. But before I walk you through the charts, as usual, just want to encourage you to please click like if you haven't already, subscribe to the Wicked Stocks YouTube channel, share the content if you would with friends and colleagues, and check out wickedstocks.com, where we offer a full suite of both daily and weekly analytical videos just like this one. Daily analysis in the SPY and the Triple Q, that is the S&P 500 and NASDAQ 100 ETFs. Weekly analysis in the S&P 500 index, the NASDAQ 100 index, the long bond ETF, the TLT, as well as 2 individual stock picks a week that you never see on YouTube. That is 8 a month that cater to the 3 to 5 week swing trader out to the 3 to 5 month near-term investor. We're always looking for at least 20% moves on those stock picks, and you can check out all of this for no cost for 5 days. We offer a 5-day free trial up front with a wickedstocks.com subscription. So sign up for wickedstocks.com, check it all out. If you don't like what you see within 5 days, you can cancel your subscription at no cost to you whatsoever. On with the charts. Take a look at the big picture, work our way into the day itself. The big picture, well, we settled below this formation, 248.78 last week, actually last Wednesday, not by a 1% margin that I like to use for what I call sell signal reliability. Thursday was the big gap lowering, the poor earnings and Elon speak that drove the market south. And following Thursday's settlement, anticipating what had been a convergence of 2 meaningful line studies. One is a rising two-thirds speed line that all week long is at 200.75. The other is the descending channel bottom at 186.97. And as these have been opening up and spreading apart, I am using 186.97 as our target. This could be over the next week. It could take all the way into later year, depending on whether we've already rebounded a bit off of this speed line. We didn't test it to the tick, but we came pretty darn close, I think, within a point or so on the daily chart. And having done so, that is considered an essential test when you drop within 1% of a meaningful line study. Essentially have tested it, and we can now rally back to 248.78. By the end of November or sooner. I don't have a clear indication of that. I'm just saying that is the big picture. And if you went long yesterday in the very low 200 area, I don't have a big problem with that, whether that's for the next day or two or for the next a month or two, depending on what your target is. I will say that coming off the 200.75 speed line, this is the daily chart actually, and yes, the upper 240s in reach over the next, 3 to 5 weeks or so. But I will say coming off of that speed line at 201.75, this 223.62 is in reach, possibly today. I'll get to that in a moment. And 233.78, a new descending one-third speed line, is potentially in reach this week. So here's the way I got it framed, as you can see. 223.62, down pivot point here, as you can see. In other words, we tested, we can fall off again back to 201.75 within a day, 2 or 3 of testing 223.62. So your 3 to 5 day swing trade, in my opinion, is bottom picking perhaps 201.75 and selling 223.62. If we happen to close today above 223.62, we should, with that kind of volatility, tomorrow test 233.78. And that is that descending speed line that you can see better here, able to contain session strength. And really, that is our upward pivot point through the rest of the week and into next. If we close above 233.78, then 249.90 is likely within just a few days, where once again we can top out through November activity, and once tested 200.75 in reach again within several weeks, 186.97 within a month or two of testing 248.78. But the way it's going right now, we could just as easily close below 200.75. And that is on the weekly chart. I'll go back to the daily chart and show it here, 201.75. I'm keeping it 200.75. I will go back to where is that chart? Do I show it today? Bear with me for just a quick second. I don't think I do. I think it has been erased, but I can show it actually on this chart. This high here, I think that was early April, 207.79. I know we broke it on Monday, and it did result in a test essentially of the 201.75 speed line. So that is our downward pivot point again today. Upside, I've got 223.62. Our upward pivot point, 216.98. And that is nothing more than Monday's high. You know, Monday was the lowest this market has been since the July high was put out. In fact, you probably have to go back to June when we find price activity that was lower than Monday's low. So that is a meaningful low. The high of that low does have pivot point qualities. And if we push or open today above 216.98, 223.62 is likely intraday where we can place a daily high, perhaps fall off into later weeks. So the 223.62 level well suited for day traders and perhaps 3 to 5 day swing traders, because we can test 23.62 and fall back to 201.75 within several days. If once again we close above 223.62 today, 233.78 likely tomorrow. That is also able to contain session strength and our upward pivot point through the rest of the week, then expecting the upper 240s again within 3 to 5 days. Now, as time goes by and this 233.78 speed line remains valid, I may well bump this up to a 3-star resistance. I did have it there for a moment today, but then I thought, no, with this kind of volatility, I don't want to encourage super aggressive selling at 233.78, but I will just verbally mention it to you that this is also, you really never know. These are subjective calls. So 223.62, meaningful former channel bottom, may well contain buying not only for the day, but through the rest of the week. And from here, we could fall to 189.57 by the end of next week. It's just that 201.75 is a much longer term line study. So I think I have them weighted properly. Our downward pivot point, once we test 223.62, we can fall back to 201.75. And really, in terms of being long over the weekend and into next week, I don't see a good reason for that unless we close above 233.78 or you're bottom picking 201.75. Because as I said at the beginning of this video, we could from 201.75 rally all the way back to 249.40. That's why I said that if you got long on Monday in the low 200s, anticipating the upper 240s again, perhaps, I don't have a big problem with that. It's just there's going to be challenges on the way up, 223.62 and 233.78 most notably. Let's talk again downside that if we break 207.79, this early April high, 201.75 in reach, where once again we can place a weekly low. But keep in mind that longer term, still anticipating, by longer term, I'm talking by the end of the year or sooner, anticipating 186.97 as a completed objective following last week's settlement below this meaningful channel bottom at 248.78. And so if we do close today below 200.75, not 201.75, because 200.75 is the same on the weekly chart. If we settle today below 200.75, we should this week test that 186.97 channel bottom, which is 189.57 on the daily chart. It is a range down here, able to absorb selling not only for the week, but really through the rest of the year. We could come off of this channel bottom nicely as we move into December, January trade. Trying to think if there's anything else to be said. I think that that's really all there is to be said for today. I'm trying to find the right chart that I can leave you with. I think this is the most appropriate one for today. 223.62 and 233.78, both solid day trade levels, and they also have sort of a 3 to 5 day pivot point qualities. Once we test 23.62, we can quite easily fall back to 201.75 or lower over the following 3 to 5 days. And in terms of upside momentum, the establishment thereof, now we may get that above 201.75, but our next sort of go with buy signal in terms of upward momentum is above 233.78, and that should play out through the rest of the week and into next. But I'm not expecting that scenario this week. I think this market remains heavy and is likely to continue to 189.75 over the coming weeks, 3 to 5 weeks. Make that tomorrow below 201.75. That is all I have for Tuesday's Tesla report. Please click like, share, subscribe, and check out wickedstocks.com. You have a great day.